Good day, Ma'am. Today, we are going to present to you the Israel Values Cultural and Intercultural Mode of Communication.
I'm Mary Jean Maniscan in Lawan.
And I am Wainlab Kanki,
And
we are discussing the Israel culture sensitivity.
Israel's culture sensitivity. Israel's culture is deeply rooted in the Jewish religion. Israel contains a collectivist society in which group, especially the family, is valued more than its individual. Israelis enjoy sharing life with their friends and are quick to offer help to those in need. They generally dedicated to their culture and state. There are two kinds of communication in Israel, the verbal and nonverbal communication. As you can see, this picture shows some examples of verbal and nonverbal communication in Israel. In verbal, there are 5 classifications of communication. First, the direct communication. Second, communication style. Third, emotions. Fourth, humor. And fifth, Yiddish. In direct communications, interests and desires are often expressed. Israelis usually communicate in a direct, straightforward, and informal manner. This is in part due to the grammatical structures of Hebrew, which is quite a direct language. The direct communication style of Israelis is known as dogruit, which refers to the foresight and unapologetic directness in communicating. Interests and desires are often expressed through direct phrases such as I want or I need, as opposed to indirect phrases such as would it be possible. Next is communication style. Israelis tend to communicate in an expressive manner, accompanied with many hand gestures. They often speak quite loudly and at a fast pace, which can give an impression that they are yelling or irritated. However, it is most likely their usual tone of communicating. Israelis also tend to have overlapping speech patterns, which means one person may speak over. Third is emotions. Israelis can become quite emotive when communicating, particularly on topics they are passionate about. Anger in Israeli communication patterns often represent passion, and in some situations, people can become heated or impassioned quickly. If this occurs in public setting, bystanders often make an effort to calm the situation. And lastly, the Yiddish. Among Ashkenazi Jews, some popular phrases and slang come from the Yiddish language. For instance, the common word nu is used to urge someone to hurry up or get to a point when speaking indirectly. Some example of it, when they say nu, they meant that, what are we waiting for?
In nonverbal, there are 4 classifications of communication: physical contact, second is personal space, third is eye contact, and the last is gestures. In physical contact, Israelis may lightly touch or tap their counterpart while speaking. Contact between men is quite common as a sign of friendship and affection. Some common examples include a light punch on the arm or throwing one's arm around their counterpart's shoulders. Religiously observant Israelis usually avoid physical contact with the opposite gender. Second is personal space. Israelis usually stand less than an arm's distance from one another while talking. It can be considered rude to back away from someone while they are speaking. Among religiously observant men and women, it is more common to stand farther apart. However, it is common for people to stand very close together in public spaces such as supermarket, queues. Third is eye contact. Direct eye contact is customarily expected and reflects a sense of interest and respect in the person. Some women who are religiously observant may divert their gaze when speaking to someone of the opposite gender. Lastly, gestures. Gestures are very common in Israeli communication. People often talk with their hands and seem quite lively. They may animate their whole body when emphasizing or expressing a particular point.
There are different greetings used in Israel. The first one is Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. is title used when meeting new people, followed by last name. When they meet people for the first time, Israelis may be formal and use titles such as Mr. or Mrs. followed by last name. The next one is first name. After initial introductions, Israelis tend to address one another by their first name. Next is Ahi, literally means my brother. It is common for people to address one another as Ahi, also spelled as Achi or Aki, which is a slang for a brother or friend. Next one is handshakes. Handshakes are the typical greeting between men. Women may also shake hands. Next one is orthodox. Though some women, such as those who identify as orthodox, may prefer to avoid physical contact with men. Next is kissing on the cheeks or hugging. Kissing on the cheek or hugging are also common greetings between people depending on their ethnic origin and level of comfort with physical contact between opposite genders.
Next, close male friends. Close male friends may greet each other with a firm handshake or a pat on each other's back or shoulder. Next, Muslim Israelis use the right hand when shaking hands with their counterpart. In Shalom peace, verbal greetings tend to be quite informal. The most common greeting and parting praise in Hebrew is Shalom or peace. Next is Shalom, may be followed by the casual greetings of Ma Nishma or what's up, or Makori or what's happening. Some people may use the more formal Ma Slomcha for men or Ma Slomech for women, which means how are you? Next is Alan, hello or welcome, or Salaan or peace. The most common greetings in Arabic are Alan, hello or welcome, and Salaam or peace. And next is Shabbat Shalom. People may say Shabbat Shalom when greeting on Friday evening, throughout Saturday, or a period known as Shabbat, or when visiting a synagogue at these times. Some may use the Yiddish praise or Gat Shabbos or Good Shabbat. In Israel, modern Hebrew is spoken by 75% of Israelis or Jews and Arabs, but it is not the mother tongue of 30% of them, or currently about 60% of Israeli Jews born in Israel. Most citizens in the state of Israel are Jewish. Most non-Jewish residents of Israel are ethnically Arab and identify religiously as Muslims, Christians, or Druze. About 8 in 10 or 81% Israeli adults are Jewish, while the remainder are mostly ethnically Arab and religiously Muslim, or 14%, Christian 2%, or Druze 2%. Women are expected to manage household affairs and care for the children. In religious or Dati and Orthodox or Haredi Families is often considered a holy act for a woman to bear many children. Once again,
I am Mary Jean Maniscan in Lawan.
and I am Wine Love Kanki.
Thank
Thank you for watching and God bless.